Hey everyone, welcome to Taisen Analyzes Reddit. Today's post is from AskReddit and it's about what knowledge is so crucial that sad adults have to be told about. Now, let's begin. Banks, tax agencies, government institutions, etc. would never call or email you telling to log in or give you SS. Bank details or anything. I keep telling this to people, but they don't seem to get it. Ex-worker and government agency here. I can't tell you how many times I have to tell customers this whenever a problem arises with their account. We issue notices telling you to call us. Important note here, keep your address updated within your agency's personal hygiene. We had a guy at work that had to pull him to the side 3 times to tell him he smelled so bad that no one wanted to sit near him. He had a nice apartment, nice car, and made decent money, but for some reason just didn't care for hygiene. When I was in the Navy, we had a guy who never took a shower or washed his uniforms. No excuse for the washing either, as it was done for him on board ship. Since we lived in close quarters, people would complain, so he'd go buy a new uniform and wear it daily until he could practically stand up on his own. Eventually, we complained up to the chain of command, and it became a health and comfort issue. A corpseman was assigned to wash him, shower, and put his dirty clothes in the laundry. We were all embarrassed for him, but he didn't seem to care at all. Parents are supposed to love and care for you, and if yours don't, they're wrong, not you. Don't litter, take care of your trash the right way. Don't stand in a freaking entry or exit way. Let people off elevators and trains before you try to get on. Don't block people's driveways with your car. How to balance your budget. I think people who can't do a budget are just emotionally unprepared to address their financial situation. When I got married, I had to show my husband how to do an Excel sheet and share it on Google Docs and plug in everything. He didn't like it when I wrote down dream items and possible car repairs. He was frustrated that I was making a budget with variables in it. That was too overwhelming. I was shocked and didn't understand why he was so upset, even though we were making enough to pay the bills. Turns out he just never had a positive experience with money. Not one. So it's so important to teach people why a budget is a good idea. It not only figures out any income spending discrepancies, it also lets you build a positive relationship with discussing finances and allows you to feel less guilty when you do buy takeout or helps you sleep. Or even when an emergency happens, you can remind yourself this was planned for. This mindset makes a huge difference. Other people are also people with internal lives as complex as your own. I think there's a tendency to assume that if a person expresses thoughts and ideas well, it means they possess greater emotional depth. The truth is that such apparent clarity only means that person happens to be articulate. Everyone you will ever meet contains worlds upon worlds. Never forget that. The ability to critically consider a position, statement, or opinion without accepting or rejecting it outright. That number spoofing is getting out of hand, and more often than not, the random number being used to spam call you is owned by an actual person who doesn't know it's being used to call you. If you don't recognize the number, then don't answer the call and let it go to voicemail. If they don't leave a voicemail or immediately call, text back, then block the number. Don't call or text the number to berate the owner of the number. Source: my number is being spoofed to call people about scams, and I've been chewed out too many times by people who are too stupid and or ignorant to understand this fact. There is literally nothing I can do to stop it until things change within the FCC. Also, when it comes to social media and other similar online services in terms of your data and privacy, understand that if it is free, then you are the product. Rather, your information is the product. Also, that everything you see about most of your friends online is carefully curated to show others the best parts of their lives. So never compare your life to what you see on your feed. Source: gave up most social media sites 2 years ago and couldn't be happier. Gave up Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Never had Twitter, kept LinkedIn for career reasons. And joined Reddit because the community is so much better than all of that garbage. Peeing on a toilet seat and not cleaning up after yourself makes you an a-hole. Clean the floors last. Spouse always wants to vacuum or clean the floors first. What? Dust and scrub everything else first, then do the floors. Otherwise, you're just letting all the dust fall onto your freshly cleaned floors. I realize this is not as crucial as some of the other info here, but it is a particular bugbear for me. Clean top to bottom, not bottom to top, because gravity. Propaganda is real, and the media can and do lie to you. This also includes Reddit, by the way. No matter your political views, that's the one that people don't get. It doesn't matter what side you are on, the news you are watching is lying to you about some things. If you don't think your news is lying to you, then you're the one who needs to hear this. Basic manners and decency, treating others with respect, not acting like entitled a-holes. Foreplay is a thing. If someone is stabbed or punctured by a sharp object, leave it inside. Do not, absolutely do not try to pull it out. Leave the object in until help arrives. Pulling it out will only double the damage. The object can considerably reduce and stop the flow of blood by exerted pressure on the injured area. The moment you pull it out, blood flow is likely to increase. Something that is genuinely free will would never ask for your credit card information. If someone is asking you to pay them for you to buy into their business, become successful, it's probably a scam. I have so many friends that take a bunch how to be successful seminars and workshops, and guess what? None of them are doing well career-wise or financially. On the other hand of that, not everyone can or should be an entrepreneur. There's nothing distasteful about working for a company for a living and then setting it down at the end of your workday and going home to your personal life. Not everyone wants to hustle all day. Your hard work won't always lead to a big payoff, and that's okay. Don't feed bears. If you can't support a child or pet, don't have one. It's more than just support, in my opinion. If you want to have a pet or a child, please at least try to consider the worst case scenario. Don't go, okay, yeah, with what I'm earning right now, we can just about feed 2 more mouths. Life is a beat. People in your life can get sick, like really, really sick. Set aside a large chunk for disasters. It breaks my heart seeing people living paycheck to paycheck, coming down with something like a cancer or getting into a car crash and then go around begging for donations because they just can't afford the bill. Medicine is really good these days, so a lot of the time you will get better. But even a treatable disease has a huge financial burden. Edit. I should mention I'm speaking from a third world country's perspective. I'm not really clear how things work in a place with health insurance, but my point still stands. Always plan with the worst in mind, especially about getting a child. How to use percents. This carries over to money management, statistics, critical thinking, more than a skill than a knowledge. But a lot of people have trouble identifying science from pseudoscience. Respect service workers. Just because a person is being paid to perform a job or service for you is not an agreement to treat them like dirt. That when a stoplight is out this intersection becomes a 4-way stop in most states. Don't drink, do drugs, text, do whatever stupid thing, and drive while driving. Not everything on Google Pages is right. You should realize if you spend money just because there's a sale, you're not actually saving money. I bought this new thing and I saved 20% off its original price using turn signals. P doesn't come from the vagina. Okay. Vaccines don't cause autism. Things wear out. If you do not appropriately clean or maintain things, they will break down, wear out faster. The number of even 30 plus adults in my life that are surprised at, again, example given, their houses, cars, computers, you name it, actually requires some degree of regular care is too dang high. For just one example, I had a friend complaining about their battery life in their 6-year-old phone. I showed him his battery health. It was well below 50%. He couldn't understand that batteries wear out and eventually need replacing. He was convinced I was full of ish and that rechargeable batteries should never reduce in capacity. This man is nearly 50 and college educated. Shaking my head. Your children will behave the way that they are taught to behave. and the way they observe others behaving. Don't touch stuff that doesn't belong to you. HR, they say they care about you and want you to be a happy worker. They don't care about you. They do care about looking after the company and damage limitation. Do not trust HR. They are not your friend. Earth is not flat, the sun is a star. No legitimate debtor demands to be paid in iTunes gift cards. Put on sunscreen, at least on your kids. One day your parents put you down and never picked you up again, and that's because they don't lift. Learning empathy. The world would be a much better place if people were able to try on their fellow humans' shoes every once in a while. Sanitary practices. I see so many people sneeze into their hands and then touch everything around them. Others who don't follow good sanitary guidelines are always wondering why they are sick all the time. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness. That is life. Thanks to Star Trek for pointing that out. Gambling is designed to make you lose your money. I know it feels great to win $200 in one go, but if you already spent $1,000 getting there, you actually lost $800. Tell all 40-year-old moms that Diet Coke is not an adequate substitute for water, and your headaches wouldn't be so bad if you were hydrated. Mom, you are worthy of love. Uno reverse card. 1. Respect is earned. 2. You can cut toxic relatives out of your life. Just because they're family doesn't mean you should keep them in your life if they do more harm than good. 3. What are taxes, how to pay, and file them. 4. What are bills, how to pay them. 5. What is a budget. 6. How to cook. Just one simple, healthy meal correctly can change your life. Not really, but it's good knowledge to have. It's a job. They have to pay you to do this. It's not your first choice of things to do today, so of course it sucks to come in 5 days a week when you'd rather be doing something else. That moving up a tax bracket doesn't make you lose money. You only get taxed a higher rate on the money made after reaching that bracket. How to be a happy and productive member of Society 101. Here's the syllabus by unit. 1. Learn how, not what, to think. Examine arguments, data, and evidence, and learn how to make rational decisions. Don't get emotionally invested in a given conclusion before you've had time to consider whether or not it's the right one. When you need to think fast or quickly, choose a course of action. Pick the option that's most likely to have the greatest benefit for everyone involved. 2. Basic etiquette. Everyone has different ideas about how they like to be treated, but there are certain social rules that most people follow. Practice good table manners, wear appropriate clothing, answer questions with direct answers, speak in proper English, not slang, and be polite to everyone around you. Cut the profanity and vulgarity from your vocabulary while you're at it. There are better ways to say things, and it will make those rare occasions when you do swear, curse, or cuss that much more potent. 3. Cooking. A homemade meal will almost always be less expensive and more nutritious than anything you can get on the go. And if you're shrewd about the way that you make things, a few simple ingredients can stretch for a lot longer than you might think. Invest in a good selection of spices, but don't go overboard. When you have the extra time and money, experiment with more complex dishes that you can use to impress friends, family, and romantic partners. 4. Cleaning. Get into the habit of looking at cleaning like upkeep rather than a project that you undertake before you're having company. Make sure everything has a specific place where it belongs, that your various services are always clear, and that you don't accumulate a lot of unnecessary junk. 5. Managing your money. Your first job is going to make you feel like you're rich beyond your wildest dreams, even if you're only earning minimum wage. Resist the urge to spend it all at once, because good financial habits will make your life a lot easier when you have to start paying for rent and food. Keep track of how much you have and what your expenses are, and learn to keep a buffer between those values. If that means putting off an unnecessary purchase for a little while, so be it. 6. Repairs and maintenance for your house and car. Things break. It happens. Knowing how to fix these problems and how to prevent them in the first place will not only save you a lot of time, hassle, and money, it will also help ensure that you aren't caught off guard in an emergency. Obtain a decent set of tools and keep them in an easily accessible location. 7. Hold on to your health. Your body is going to start decaying in another decade or so. You won't be able to eat an entire pizza in one sitting without thoroughly regretting it later, and ice cream will leave you so flatulent that you'll have to learn entirely new ways of concealing farts. Start eating right and exercising now, and you'll be able to have a lot more fun on those occasions when you decide to go wild. 8. The internet is forever. Everything that you write, post, or do online can come back to bite you. There are no exceptions. Something as simple as a misspelling in a Facebook post can and will have effects that you never would have expected. Always present yourself on the internet as though you were on stage for the entire world. Put your best foot forward. 9. The internet is still forever. Okay, so you messed up. Maybe you sent a naked picture to the wrong person. Maybe you wrote something really stupid online. Whatever you did, it doesn't matter. It's out there now, and it's not going away. Learn how to own up to that. Show how you've grown as a person, and do not make the same mistake again. 10. Should I say 0? I believe it's 10. How to find and keep a fulfilling career. Sorry, you effed. Blame your parents' generation. Let's cross that out. In all seriousness, this is something at which you'll be working for most of your adult life. This is the best way to get a head start at it, though, is to look at your hobbies and interests and find a way of contributing to their respective fields. If you enjoy video games, learn to make 3D graphics and write code. If you like music, teach yourself how to use audio editing programs and recording equipment. Not every skill will serve you in a given career, but every skill will contribute to your overall repertoire, making it that much more likely that you'll find success in something you enjoy. When the time comes to apply for that first really exciting job, find a way to differentiate yourself that's both unique and compelling, but not irritating or obnoxious. Above all, never stop learning. Too long didn't read. 10 important tips for people who want to get ahead in life. Last but not least, microchip your dog. I found all of the lost and found groups around my area, and I can't tell you how often people post, "My absolute baby pride and joy is missing. I let her out, no fence and yard. She wandered off, no chip, no collar. Please help." Like, just do one single thing right to make sure your dog stays safe. And yeah, I definitely agree with what some of the commenters have been saying. Make sure that you are able to clean yourself and take care of yourself. Personal hygiene, definitely a factor as well. And banks, knowing about banks, government agencies, institutions, and things to that effect is something that adults should know about as well and have knowledge on, and as many other things as well. And yeah, this is Taisen, and I want to thank the user for allowing me to use their post. I'll provide a link to their post as well as their profile. Once again, this is Taisen. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I'll also have your notifications set to all, and I will see you next time.